conversation hosted by CJ Abernethy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient, with a bachelor's degree in information technology software engineering. CJ is a podcast producer and host. Please check out our social media pages for more information. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description to join. Coffee and a conversation starts now. Have a good day or don't, the choice is always yours.
Morning. What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ, the Internet Warlord, coming to you live and loud from the great state of Meth Dakota. You know Meth Dakota. It's a state just south of North Dakota, that Dakota. The state formerly known as South Dakota until the Queen of Meth herself declared us all on meth. And I tell you what, it's one of those days. That's one of those days. You ever had one of those days where nothing goes just right? Wife starts bitching about whatever it was she was bitching about last night. Alright, at least the audio's working. Alright, unless I'm muted. Sometimes you just hope you're like, oh, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. Alright. So, what a day. Let's see what we've got here. Alright. Go over here. Stay there. Oh, I guess I forgot to do that too, huh? Go ahead. Throw this in here. Oh. Click the link to join the broadcast. There we go. And let's go ahead and just copy. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and copy that. Oh, crap. Man, some days. You ever just had one of those days where you're like, well, this is going to be one of them days. That's the way I feel this morning. I feel like, this is going to be one of those days. And if you're watching over on YouTube, for some reason the link to StreamYard's not saving up in the links there. I couldn't tell you why if I tried. Give it another second here and try to save it there. Damn. Ain't that some shit? Alright, well, if you refresh Facebook, it'll be over there on Facebook. Oh, oofda. Alright, where are we at today? Seattle business owners says police never responded at shop near Chop Zone. Ah, man, like this Seattle Chop thing has been just a whole bunch of dumb mixed with a bunch of media regurgitated propaganda. I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. At some point, though, it's going to come to a head. At some point. So, let's go ahead. Alright. The area known as CHOP for Capitol Hill Organized Protest, and initially known as CHAZ, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, has been occupied by demonstrators, but mostly free of officers. Now, again, you guys can have your own opinions on CHAZ. That's fine by me. The owner of a business on the cusp of Seattle's so-called Capitol Hill organized protest owner Chop has said he called 911 to report a burglary in progress, but nobody showed up. Quote, "We're just trying to run a small business, make a living, be a good member of society, and try to be good neighbors to the neighborhood, and I think we've really been let down by the mayor's office, the Seattle Police Department, and the fire department," said John McDermott, a co-owner of Cartender on Capitol Hill. Now, I've heard different reports on this one that they actually let police go there and handle business, and that it was people that, I mean, I've heard different stories. McDermott said early Monday morning he was alerted that his repair shop was being broken into. McDermott and his son drove to the scene while on the phone with 911. There were no police officers on the scene ever, and I was here all night long, he said. See, when you say, CJ, what would we do without police? I would say you better get ready to defend your business. You better get ready to defend what you claim you own or have stake or ownership in. Morning, Uncle. How you doing today? McDermott and his son detained the burglar and were able to put out the fire themselves, but eventually let the man go. Right. A video live streamed online shows a mob of protesters from the CHOP taking custody of the man and searching him. They also let him go. Reportedly, the way the dispatcher was speaking, there was supposedly someone en route. Nobody showed up. All right. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody joins backstage and they want to join the broadcast, we let them join. Mr. Ingram, good morning, sir.
Morning, CJ. I was just hearing you talking about Cartender Automotive.
Yeah, I've heard some conflicting stories, so I figured we'd start there today.
Well, I've actually got a couple of friends that take their vehicles down to Cartender. And yeah, what they're saying is true. The police never actually showed up on scene. They did stop several blocks away, and when they saw that there was no fire coming from the building, they left.
Yeah.
So they weren't there to protect the guy's property. They were just, as long as there's no threat to imminent life, the police aren't going in the area.
Yeah, well, my kind of thought is that, well, my thought is that we've had so much conflicting information behind what this actually is that it's really, really hard and difficult to know what is fake news, what is real news. We're kind of like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing is that,
several friends head down.
Go ahead.
And I'll tell you, I won't go down there. For the simple fact that while there's not, it's not like a crazy mayhem down there right now. It's pretty much just a bunch of people sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, no, that I understand. Now you're speaking my language. Sitting around doing nothing, like, all right. Now, here's my thought though: is that okay? So here's a business, right? And I think this is the one, right? Cartender.
Yep, that's it.
All right. So and that there's the guy there, right? So he's getting now. This is this. They're saying this is CHOP adjacent. That this isn't really actually like on.
No,
the
he's
CHOP.
not actually in the 6 blocks in Seattle. He's across the street.
Right. So he's across the street from it. He's not actually in it, and police still didn't show up.
Right. Pretty much the people that are sitting in Chaz are doing nothing unless you have a different viewpoint than them.
Well, obviously, hello. Obviously, hello. I mean, this is their zone. This is where their safe space they've created. You know what really bothers me? I used to be able to I can kind of sort of pseudo read lips in a conversation, and when all these people wearing masks, I can't do it. If I was a deaf person in America right now, I would be living in difficult times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd be really afraid if I was a deaf person in America. But yeah, no, this looks like a bunch of nothing. This is why Republicans are like, get a job. But
They are quick to riot and violence.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
no,
reports I'm getting from my friend.
that's what you would expect that it would be.
Yep.
When you're talking about a very unorganized, you know, thing here, what I really find hilarious is that all of a sudden this leftist group, which is what it really is, they're
Yep.
leftists, are essentially creating barricades and saying, hey, oh, look at that, they got the inverted American flag there. I mean, what is this
Yeah.
construction thing going on? I don't know what video this is. It just clicked up, but
So this is what's happening. Is Seattle has made a deal with the protesters in Chaz. If they would remove their wooden barricades across the roads, they would put in concrete barriers. So those are actually city workers installing these concrete barriers. So that's our tax dollars at work to create quote unquote a safe zone for them, but still leaving the roads open for traffic.
right. Oh, wrong button. So they literally got a safe space. That's what this is. It's a
Yeah.
state paid for safe space from the state.
Well, city paid. City. The city is actually paying for it.
Okay, city paid safe space from government, where again they are doing absolutely nothing. I mean, again, I'm not saying they don't have the right to protest. I'm not saying they don't have the right to call this a protest. But
well, at this point, it's really an occupation. It's me though,
right, and that's why they said, well, we're really not Chaz, because then the U.S. government will come in and bomb us with their, bomb women and children and men indiscriminately, because that's what we do to every country that goes to war. With the United States, or wants to not follow the rules of the United States, we bomb men, women, and children back to oblivion. And they realize that by declaring themselves their own country, that it's not getting foreign aid. There's going to be sanctions and tariffs, and you can't just post a list of demands on social media for everybody to donate like this is Standing Rock or some noble cause that people actually believe in. This is a very much a misconstrued. Now, there's a few people that are down there. There's a guy by the name of Raz Simone, and I've only heard of the guy. He's friends with my buddy Mr. Chris Napper.
He is pretty much one of the talking heads for the organization down there right now.
Now, they've called him a warlord. Now, being a self-declared internet warlord myself, I gotta go, wait a minute. Who's this warlord they're speaking of? And, I can tell you what, from what I've been told by Mr. Napper about him, he's not the kind of guy that's going to, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not gonna be a dictator. He's a protector. He's basically there to protect the people that he cares about, and that's
and to give great speeches.
Well, I'm sure the speeches are great. I'm sure they're good for the socials, obviously. But
now there was a new event that happened yesterday, where several bikers and truckers actually went down to Chaz armed. They were all armed as almost like a counter protest, and the protest broke out of the Chaz area onto I-5. So Seattle PD and State Patrol were actually deflecting cars off of I-5. Really? It really messed up traffic out here yesterday. I was watching video of that, live videos from several of my trucker friends that were stuck in the traffic, and then some that were actually down there at Chaz. What's funny is most of those people were armed. Not a single shot was fired. There was just a lot of yelling and screaming going on. And from the videos that I was seeing, a lot of exchange of words, but no real exchange of ideas. It was just, hey, we could take this back if we wanted to. That made absolutely no sense to me. If they went down there with a clear, concise message, and a dialogue could have been opened, okay, shut down I-5 for all I care. But if it's just a show of power and force, why the hell are we interrupting our commerce?
Seattle police pledged to protect CHOP protest zone. Quote, there is no cop-free zone in the city.
Yeah, that's not
So-
true.
Yeah, no, that's not true at all. So, but yeah, they said this compares to a street fair and an occupied protest all in one. And
Yeah.
and I mean, in all honesty, man, you know me, if I was in Seattle, I would totally be down there with a camera and totally
Yeah.
telling
Well,
the
they're-
government to go eat a deep fried dick sandwich since it's a carnival.
Yeah, well, they're calling it Summer of Free Love, is what they're going to be calling it.
See, I want to get behind these people and say, hey, you know, your right to protest is your right to peacefully assemble.
Mhm.
But how much of this, Mike, do you think is the media manufacturing complaints or infiltrators that are manufacturing the protest area?
Well, the riot against the mechanic shop, it was really disorganized, actually. It was more of a heat of the moment type of thing that happened. And I think that was a lot of people taking advantage of things. Where inside this occupied zone, a lot of it is manufactured. You'll see the drones flying overhead, but there's really no reporters being let inside.
Yeah.
It's mostly Facebook videos, things like that. And so that gets me thinking, okay, if media is not allowed inside,
Right.
okay, this isn't about getting a clear message to the nation.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, instead, what we're getting is mainstream media message for people that are, I mean, otherwise aren't going to know, like, for example, who Warlord, and I say with all due respect, Sir Raz Simone is. They're not going to be listening to his lit speeches on his socials. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be tuning in to Como and Cairo and King, and they're going to see things like, we're sitting ducks in here, tenants in protest zone, asking SPD to resume response to crimes. They're going to see
Right.
these headlines and they're going to go, oh, well, you know, our tenants are sitting ducks, you know, that they are, what are you going to do, Seattle PD? You better do something. I mean, this is obviously a big deal. I mean, when you blocked off this many people, how many people do you think live in that little square area before this guy speaks? Let me go back here real quick and get that picture up again.
6 city blocks of Seattle down there, you do have a park and a lot of the city buildings. So I'm going to say somewhere around maybe 1,000.
And now, see, look, this is what I'm asking. So it's this street, and this area, this street here. What's the green in this? I guess I'm kind of misunderstanding what the colors are here.
The green is where they're putting up the new concrete blockades.
So they're giving them more land.
Yep.
Wow.
They're partitioning the roads in half. So the concrete barriers aren't going across the roads, they're going down the center medians.
What? Wow. Yeah. So they're no shit. Seattle is actively giving the Capitol Hill organized protest more land.
Correct.
Wow, that is a whole different ball game. Because I mean, the way it looks on this map here, it's just a park with maybe some roads that they're coming into. Now that dealership, if you can see my cursor here, that dealership, I'm assuming, is right about here. That looks like a dealership, kind of.
Yep.
I guess. I mean, so.
Yeah, he's on the north end.
Right. So, like I said, it's kind of adjacent to. Here's the police station. So what you're saying is that the police couldn't come down 12th Avenue here and respond to this here, and that was outside the chop.
Correct. If you look 2 blocks to, let's see, you're on this screen, it would be to your right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you move your mouse over 2 blocks, that's where the cops stopped. They observed the business from 2 blocks away. They saw no smoke coming from the building, so no fire, and they left.
So what you're saying is that they didn't do their job because it's not in the protest zone. This is a business that's not involved in this, not in this area. Now, would they claim that it's because of this road right here, or do you think that he could have went just right here onto this 12?
They could have easily come in from the north.
And do you think that really, in all honesty, that given the fact this isn't in the CHOP area, that they could have just responded as they're supposed to do?
I doubt it, just because of the large riot area, or the amount of people that were there vandalizing the building. And since the city council has now taken away any kind of tear gas or riot control from the police, there's really nothing they can
Tear
do.
gas is against the law in every country to use against rioters, but
yeah, rubber bullets are gone, flashbang gone. You can't use any kind of riot control.
Right. Which again, I'm all for de-arming the police. If we can't defund them, de-arm them at least, for sure.
If that single squad car had gone in there, then it would have been an issue.
This is blowing my mind. They are actually giving more land to the protesters.
Yeah. Well, they're reinforcing.
See, look, like right there. There's a good example. There's a good example. Here's a great example of what I was saying. You see that park behind there where all these tents are popping up? That's kind of what it looks like that it's happening. And again, it's turning into more of a, eventually what's going to look like a homeless camp entrenchment. So, but yeah, this is those glorious speeches that people keep talking about, right? They have a discussion corner or something.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
That last scene there where it had the overview.
Yeah.
If you can go back, those blue lines, that's where they're setting up that concrete barrier.
Right. Hold on a second here. Yeah, okay. So
instead of having the major barricade across the street, it's cement blocks dividing the streets almost.
You know what this is, and this comes from the military perspective that I'm in my brain here, that's going, hey man, if you want to funnel everybody to a certain location, you want to make it so you control the flow of the battlefield. When you want to go into this place, you just make sure you enclose it all off, and then before you know it, people have limited mobility out of their own area. And next thing you know, you can funnel them to where you want them to, and then you can and I hate to say it, but you've heard of Kristi Noem's riot boosting bill, right? Where again, they're going to call this a riot. They're going to say that all these people are in some way, shape, or form responsible for the damages collaterally to the property and to the city, and they're going to line you all up one by one, handcuff you, and then haul you off into court and say you're all responsible. Here's the bill. Divvy up. And that's kind of what riot boosting bill was doing out here. So I see them just building you a nice cage around you.
Look at the entire city plan. You can find it online. You can find the entire city plan as far as where these blockades are. If you look at it from a top-down perspective, right, you can see that the main if they're going to come in and flush this place out, they've set it up in such a way that they could come in from the east, blitzkrieg around the back, and literally trap these people in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 city streets. And
then that is what I just got them saying. They're about to like you think it's going to go away anytime soon. I'll bet you that they're just setting it up to where they can go, hey, at some point, if you're inside that zone, you are going to be handcuffed, you're going to be detained, arrested, you're going to, it's coming. Here's a good one for you as well. Let me get it on the screen here from Twitter world. Some key thoughts from people out here. Radical left Governor Jay Inslee and the mayor of Seattle are being taunted and played at the level that our great country has never seen before. Take back your city now, and if you don't do it, I will. This is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stopped immediately. Move fast! And, Andy, I don't know who that is, but rapes, robberies, and all sorts of violent acts have been occurring in the area, and we're not able to get to them. Capitol Hill, Thomas Stone. Delightful clash of cultures when Fox News presenters in all seriousness read out a Reddit post about anarcho-syndicalism from Seattle's Chop Chaz releasing it's a joke lifted from Monty Python.
Right.
Meanwhile, in Chaz Seattle's tears amidst the car break-in. P.S. The area has recently gone through a rebranding. It's also being referred to as Chop. So I mean, again, it's one of those things, Mike, where we watch it and we go, we want people to be able to declare their the causes which compel them to the separation. It's the Declaration of Independence. They're
Right.
declaring their independence in this area that says, hey, you're not using lethal force here. You're not using your lack of due process for anybody here. I mean, they've got. I've heard a few speeches where it's along those similar lines.
Yeah, and really they're comparing themselves to the early colonial revolutionists against the British government.
Yeah, and
And
they're
that's really
invoking
how
the
they're
higher
seeing themselves.
document than the Constitution, which is the Declaration of Independence.
Mhm.
And they have all right to. I mean, you can't be like, hey, wait, how was this country founded? Well, we wrote a love letter to the king. Oh, well, we're about to write a love letter to you. And
Yeah, unfortunately, though, they just don't have the numbers, the armaments. They cannot defend this area.
yeah, let me go ahead and get this war crime on the screen here too. Seattle police
Yeah.
chief wants East Precinct back and defends tear gas. So, like I said, a war crime against the people here. I wanted to make sure it gets on the record as well. That comes through NPR. I mean, Mike, it's almost like they don't care. Like they believe they have all right to treat anybody the way they want.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the mayor that we have in Seattle and the governor we have in office currently, if they weren't worried about the court of public opinion, the occupied area would already be gone.
Yeah, well, look what
They're
happened
trying
in
to
like
find
Tennessee. I
people.
think it was Tennessee that tried to do it, and
Mhm.
they were in the government. There was like, fuck that, fuck you, and no, it's not happening.
Right.
So I mean, I get it.
Anyways, Mr. Abernathy, I've got an excavator over here that's been running, so I got to get moving.
Mr. Ingram, everybody, I appreciate you coming on, being my expert here on Chop this morning.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later. Again, if anybody else would like to join, like Mr. Ingram did here, you can just click the link in the description, and you can join the broadcast and give us your brain noodle thoughts. All right, so that is our Chop news for the day. Let's go ahead and this has been. I've been seeing this coming around on a few news sites and not just CNN. So I guess that means it might not be fake news as some of the Republicans would like it to be. Oh man, come on. I mean, how hard is it really just to let my ad blocker work? Dang it. I can go ahead and refresh this. Come on. There we go. All right. So we got some big news here out of Donald Trump world. We won't go to CNN because we all know it's fake news. Not that this is any more real. But DOJ sues to stop former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton's tell-all book. I wonder why. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. The Justice Department claims Bolton has not finished with the review process required of any author who had a government security clearance. Because if the government doesn't approve of your narrative, you don't have freedom of speech. You give that away when you work for government. When you take a security clearance, it abolishes your First Amendment right. Apparently that is what it does when But what does John Bolton here have to say? What is he saying in his book that's making the DOJ sue? Is it just because he didn't do the process? Is it the content? What is it that he is saying that the administration feels that they should publicly make an example out of him? So Interesting story to follow, to say the least. Like I said, I didn't want to play the CNN version because we all know that triggers Trumplicans, so we don't want to do that. So let's see here. CNN reporting. We'll take one from CNN today. 16 friends test positive for coronavirus after an outing at a Florida bar. Oh, lovely. Orlando in less than a month, you guys. I can't wait to meet you all. And damn it, if we get coronavirus, we get it together with a 0.0005% survivability. Or excuse me, mortality rate. Wait, you only have a 0.0005% chance of surviving? No, I mean mortality rate. 0.0005% chance of dying. You actually have more of a chance of getting coronavirus and dying than being an Adam Kokesh subscriber and actually seeing one of his videos. Yeah, crazy. India-China border tensions. We got some news here that's saying India and China are about to go fisticuffs. Ooh, here's a good one. Oh, dang. Well, let's just go ahead and prove that there's a divide in class of people with privileges and make it obvious for everybody in the world to know. New York police pulled from prosecutor's office after DA declined to charge protesters report. So what they're saying here is that the New York police pulled from prosecutor's office. Why were they in there? What were they doing? I guess maybe we should find out a little bit more. The New York City Police Department has moved officers out of the district attorney's office in several boroughs after some prosecutors moved to not file charges against some protesters arrested during the recent demonstrations over the police killing, must be accurate, of George Floyd. NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea denied that the two issues were related in comments Friday, according to the New York Times, but the decision to pull the department's officers reportedly came just hours after Manhattan's district attorney announced publicly that demonstrators would not be charged for simple curfew violations amid protests. Yes, because the king says you must go to bed. You must go to bed. And look at what his henchmen do. They want you arrested and jailed and put in a cage. They don't care. There's no such thing as a good cop in America anymore. Really, honestly, you're only fooling yourself. Let's see here. The justice system shouldn't be the first resort, Manhattan DA Cyrus Vance told the Times in a recent interview, quote, "It should be used only when necessary, especially for low-level offenses which tend to fall on men and women of color and those economically less resourced." Wow. Other police officials are furious over the news, which was apparently buoyed by similar decisions made by district attorneys in the Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn, according to the Times. Quote, "It's a dereliction of duty to their oath of office," said Edward Mullins, president of the Sergeants Benevolent Association. "More important than undercutting the work of the NYPD, it's undercutting public safety." Shea noted, according to the Times, that reforms made by his agency were happening, quote, "maybe not as fast as some people like," but denied claims that his agency was feuding with city prosecutors. "Are we always in lockstep? No," Shea said Friday. We are human beings and from different agencies." Man, I love it when they all fight with each other, to be honest. It is what it is. To finish up the story here from the Hill, the commissioner went on to contend that the decision was made to deal with the city's ongoing protests, which have continued for weeks over the death of Floyd, a black man who was unarmed at the time of his arrest, handcuffed with 3 officers on top of him and one little Asian dude who wouldn't let anybody help. We got to be accurate. Video of Floyd's arrest sparked protests in dozens of cities when it was revealed that a white officer knelt on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. It keeps going up by like 30 seconds every 2 weeks. Eventually, it's going to say 10 minutes, and then it's going to start losing its credibility. Even as handcuffed Floyd pleaded for medical attention, NYPD officials did not immediately return a request for further comment from the Hill. So, gotta love it when they're fighting with themselves, where it's like, wait a minute, we want them arrested for breaking curfew. Man, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put all the people to bed again, and they got mad and upset because that doesn't give them the excuse to go out and beat these people instead of their wives. Ouch, did I just say that? I think I just said that. What is the domestic violence? Hey, you know what? Hold on. Let's go with this. Hold on. I'm sure there's domestic rights groups out there that are going to love this one. So let's go ahead and say, what is the domestic violence rate for law enforcement officers in the United States of America?
4% and 40% of participating families of police officers reported incidents of domestic violence.
A quarter to 40%, according to Google. She straight up just told me 25 to 40% of members of family of law enforcement report to be victims of domestic violence. Wow. Okay, so at least 4 out of 10. So there's at least 4 cops out of 10 that you know that would much rather be at home beating their family members than, maybe just beating people in general, honestly. Who knows? I mean, but hey, don't get mad at me. Get mad at Google. Get mad at the officers that are beating their spouses that make up to a quarter to 40% of the force domestic abusers. Get mad at that. Don't get mad at me for just reporting to you what Google said. But because some of you are so ignorant, you'll get mad at me. And I'll take the heat. It's fine. No worries there. Taylor, I saw you in the comments there. I missed your comment there if you're still watching. And I see your comment from Chaz there. Just to get it there real quick. I've heard that there's a group inside Chaz that has taken up the role of police. Yes, the warlords. The warlords. And yes, being an internet warlord, I must say I have nothing but that. You know what a warlord is? Oh, man. A warlord is a leader able to exercise economic, political, social. Well, hold on. What is a warlord? I mean, I should know this. A military commander, especially an aggressive...
A military commander, especially an aggressive regional commander with individual autonomy.
Right. If you go to the Wikipedia definition, a warlord is a leader able to exercise military, economic, and political control over a subnational territory within a sovereign state due to their ability to mobilize loyal armed forces. These armed forces, usually considered militias, are loyal to the warlord rather than to the state regime. Now, where did you hear that before? The Internet Warlords intro. Yes, as we have so obviously have made it clear that on Internet Warlords,
we have what's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generation. A new world order.
A warlord is a leader able to exercise military, economic, and political control over a subnational territory within a sovereign state due to their ability to mobilize loyal armed forces. These armed forces, usually considered malicious, are loyal to the warlord rather than to the state regime. Warlords have existed throughout much of history, albeit in a variety of different capacities within the political, economic, and social structure of states or in governed territories.
Woo! Crazy, huh? Crazy when you hear it that way. So, that is a warlord. So yes, Taylor, if you're still watching, there are warlords in CHOP. Which, again, doesn't mean they're bad people. just means that they are a leader of their community, their respective community, and can exercise that control politically, militarily, or economically, and normally form militias. So when you hear Fox News going, the warlords are out there, well, technically George Washington was a warlord too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's remember these people that these Trumplicans are worshiping were warlords at one time in history. They could control the militia. A warlord. So I find it pretty hilarious that they're saying warlords are out there. So it's a good time to be a warlord, though. Like I said, if you want internet warlords t-shirts, all the whole 9 yards, I got coffee mugs here somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, what a day. What a day. We could go into how black officers are really feeling about the George Floyd death. Here's a good one. All right, so for those of you that don't know, I've taken a hiatus from watching football. Almost going on, 4 seasons? This will be the 5th season, and I'm like, don't really care to watch it. I mean, there's other things going on in life, and so I really am just like, yeah. I used to really enjoy it, though. I mean, big Seahawks fan, through and through, from like the worst of times to the best of times, from the bottom of the mountain to the top. I was there. And but I find this interesting. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, quote, I encourage a team to sign Colin Kaepernick. And we'll go ahead, we'll roll the man's own words for him. So that way we're all on the same page here.
What role do you envision him playing going forward with the National Football League, be it as a player or in any other way? How do you see him factoring into the future?
Well, listen, if he wants to resume his career in the NFL, that obviously is going to take a team to make that decision, but I welcome that, support the club making that decision and encourage them to do that. If his efforts are not on the field, and continuing to work in this space, we welcome to that table and to be able to help us and guide us and help us make better decisions about the kinds of things that need to be done in communities. We have invited him in before, and we want to make sure that everybody's welcome at that table and trying to help us deal with some very complex, difficult issues that have been around, unfortunately, for a long time. But I hope we're at a point now where everybody's committed to making long-term sustainable change.
Man, oh man, oh man. So, if only they had listened to Colin Kaepernick before all this stuff happened. Hey, he was just a guy with the national spotlight who's like, hey man, I see racial injustices, I see police brutality, and I can't just go onto the football field and throw this pigskin around and pretend like life is all hunky-dory. And he used his platform and his job and his profession, and while you can disagree with him professionally doing it, I expect that. You can't be the same, I love freedom, I love my country, give me my rights, and not respect the rights of another man. He risked his job, his career, his profession to protest these injustices. And this is what he was talking about. 2020, he might as well have just played for 5 more years, keeping his mouth shut. But now look where he's at now. He's got the commissioner of the NFL literally saying we should have listened to Colin Kaepernick from the beginning. And that we should have protected him more. We should have protected this player more. Especially when other players from all around the league, it's not just him trying to get famous from it. It was a very tough decision. When you make the decision to protest your government, there's a section of people in this country that are sycophants. They are Munchausen by proxy. They are going to defend their slave owners no matter what. There are people that could literally be beaten by police and still go, I still support the thin blue line as they're being beaten by law enforcement. That's how stupid a lot of these people are. They will defend. They will say it's here's a good one for you guys. Let's go back to our good friend Google here real quick, because a lot of people don't know this one either. So it'd be Title 4, Section 8, USC. I believe that's Title 8. Hang on. Title 4, USC 8.
According to Legal Information Institute.
All right. So, this is what disrespecting the flag actually is. And nowhere in this title code will you actually find kneeling during the national anthem as disrespect for the flag. But I will point out here real quick, as it takes me a moment to get it pulled up here, that there are many things that the NFL does that are disrespectful to the flag, that all these Trumplican morons have no idea. And actually I was participated in one of these events and then told one of my sergeants at the time that I really disagreed with what we were doing, but I really wanted to go to a Seahawks game. So I just participated because I wanted to go see a football game. And it stuck with me that especially after you get into the more civil disobedient side of protesting your government, it really does stick with you because people want to remain ignorant. They want to remain in that bubble of like they can do no wrong, that their way of supporting the flag is the only way of supporting the flag. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, I can't fix people stupid, to be honest, really. Did I miss that story too? Did I miss that story? Where's it at? I know it's here somewhere. Man. Oh, I guess I gotta go back to settings. Again, if anybody wants to join the broadcast, you're more than welcome to click the link in the description here. I've got about 15, 20 minutes so left and whatnot. So just throwing that out there for people. I got to go way back into the Wayback Machine. I get too many notifications in a day, but here we go. Found it. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this full screen here since this has to deal with what we're talking about. Now, you tell me, all right, through if you're commenting, please go ahead and comment which one of these you believe is disrespect for the flag. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Go ahead now. I'll wait in case anybody wants to respond. Which one of these letters is actually under the Title 4, Section 8, code for disrespecting the flag? I'll wait. I know there's like a 30-second delay. So while you sit here and ponder which one of these is, I'm going to go grab my dog. All right, did you figure it out yet? All right, so Taylor and my uncle both say D. That D is the one that's disrespectful to the flag. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead real quick and let's pull back up the title code for you. For title code. Again, for those that don't know. Oh, excuse me. Got a hair in my nose. All right. So, for U.S. Code Section 8, respect for the flag. No disrespect should be shown to the flag of the United States of America. The flag should not be dipped to any person or thing. Regimental colors, state flags, and organization or institutional flags are to be dipped as a mark of honor. These are all the things that are disrespectful to the flag. A, the flag should never be displayed with the Union down except as a sign of dire distress in instances of extreme danger to life or property. You see this at Chaz. You see this for parents that are having their children kidnapped by force or fraud from the state. You see this in many instances out at Standing Rock. You see this at riots and protests. And because, again, this government has no problem using extreme danger to your life and property to shut you up to and including murdering you extrajudiciously. So, yes, the flag goes inverted for a lot of reasons in that instance. So, it's taken the form of many causes, as it should. Daisy, get out of there. The flag should never touch anything beneath it, such as the ground, the floor, water, or merchandise. The flag should never be carried horizontal or flat. So as we go back to this sign right here, the NFL itself, something that I once participated in and then said, no, this is disrespect for the flag. This right here, what all you people are so mad about over Colin Kaepernick. Letter C. Ugh, too early, the coffee's getting cold. Letter C. Every time you see that flag horizontally to the deck is disrespect to the flag per the code. Keep in mind, Colin Kaepernick. Nowhere in this code are you going to see kneeling during the special song that makes everybody feel a certain way. Nobody kneeling during your special song is anywhere in any way, shape, or form disrespectful to the flag. Yes, of course, D sitting on there, but we'll get to a few of these other ones here real quick. Again, the flag should never be carried horizontally or flat, but always aloft and free. So pulling it out across a football field where it's literally grabbed by hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't know how many people it is, but that right there, that NFL that they do every time they pull out that flag horizontally to the deck, that's disrespect to the flag. That is in the code for disrespect to that. It's right there. C. D. The flag should never be worn as apparel, bedding, or drapery. Well, I just can't wait to watch Kid Rock play at the Super Bowl with the flag parallel to the deck and wearing this shirt right there. All right. Yep. Can't imagine that. Can't imagine that being a thing. It'll be a thing someday. So which one of these? All right. I'm going to give it that this right here, D right there. With the guy with the Jets shirt. I stand for the national anthem. I sit on the flag. That would be disrespect for the flag. Notice how the flag inverted is not on here. Because that has a very distinct meaning. Now, let's go back to the code here. The flag should never be fastened, displayed, used, or stored in such manner as to permit it to be easily torn, soiled, or damaged in any way. When you know that big flag that they roll up and they just throw it into a big old box. They just throw it into a big old box. That's where it goes. Your beloved flag. Your feel-good magic sky cloth just gets pulled out, disrespected, and then thrown into a box and pulled out next Sunday. And you're bitching about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. Like, do you see how stupid Trumplicans are? This is why I can't defend them anymore. I can't defend them because they're not educated. You ask them what a Title IV AUSC is, they're, huh? What do you mean? I've never read it. I don't know what you're talking about. The flag should never be placed, should never have placed upon it, nor on any part of it, or attached to it, any mark, insignia, letter, word, figure, design, picture, or drawing of any nature. For example, the Nathan's hot dog eating contest down here. Okay? The flag should never be used as a receptacle for receiving, holding, carrying, or delivering anything. All right? Let's see here. I don't really see that as I don't see a receptacle on here other than, well, I guess this lady's wearing the clothing there. The flag should never be used for advertising purposes in any manner whatsoever. It should be embroidered on such articles as it should not be embroidered on articles such as cushions, handkerchiefs, and the like, printed to otherwise impressed, or paper napkins, or boxes, or anything that is designed for temporary use and discard. I wonder how many red, white, and blue napkins are printed and made. I bet you if we just go with a quick over to Google search, U.S. flag napkins. Oh, look at that. Oh, why aren't you Trumplicans boycotting all this? No, you're the ones that are literally the ones that buy it. You don't even realize it. No part of the flag should ever be used, such as customs or athletic uniforms. However, a flag patch may be affixed to the uniform of military personnel. So, that flag, hold on. Wait a second here. Hold on. Let's go ahead back to our favorite friend Google. NFL flag jersey logo. Let's see what we get. No. Hold on. It'd be U.S. flag on NFL jersey. Are they on there? Do they have it? Are they on there? I don't know why some of you guys aren't. I don't know why you Trumplicans aren't. You guys just be like, no, this is the free economy right here. Yeah. Okay. I'll just wait. You just see how much disrespect it is. I'm sure you're going to see some of your favorite players out there, and some of you might even go, I like Aaron Rodgers. I like that. That's patriotic. But you don't know that goes against the title code for disrespecting the flag. When the flag is in such condition that it's no longer a fitting emblem for display, it should be destroyed in a dignified way, preferably by burning. And this is why you can't say, well, the flag can be burned in this instance, but it can't be burned in that instance because of this title code right here. That is literally one of the legal arguments for why you cannot determine who and in what condition or why a person can burn a flag, because it is their right to burn the flag in protest. If you can burn the flag when it's when the flag is in such condition that it no longer is a fitting emblem, is one of my favorite lines, because what does it actually represent? And when it doesn't represent what you say it does, we can burn it. That is literally what the title code for respect for the flag says. Not CJ's opinion. Title 4, U.S. Code, Section 8, respect for the flag. I'll tell you what, folks. Coffee's getting cold here in America. We used to have a piping hot, fresh cup of coffee. We used to say things like, proud to be an American, and actually mean it. At least most of us. But that growing minority, becoming a loud minority. And, unfortunately for the Trumplicans, who, again, will defend Trump until the day they get until their dying breath, really. You know, people were saying long live Stalin as Stalin's men were shooting him in the head. So at the end of the day, it does not surprise me for a single second that there would be Trumplicans out there that would say, long live Trump, as his policies have you shot in the head by a cop extrajudiciously and with immunity. So which one of these really is disrespect for the flag? And again, admittedly, I didn't stop watching football because Colin Kaepernick started kneeling for the flag. I stopped watching football because I wanted a change in my life. My life revolved around Sunday. Where are we watching the game? What are we doing? Are we going here? Are we going to have this? What food are we bringing? Blah, blah, blah. And it used to be good times. You can ask Kendall. It used to be great times watching football. But which one of these is actually disrespect for the flag? Because nowhere in that title code did you see kneeling for the flag. Nowhere. So when Roger Goodell says that Colin Kaepernick's owed an apology, it's because they have tattered flags at their stadiums. They've allowed people to wear flags as regalia. They've had their flags stretched out to parallel to the deck almost every fucking game in the shape of the country, to be no less. Like, they've cut the flag to make it look like the country, conveniently forgetting Alaska and Hawaii. But we'll digress our point because it's really only 48 states, right? NFL fans will literally be like, "Oh, Colin Kaepernick, he is such a turd that." You know, they'll stand for the national anthem but sit on the flag. Then you've got a Trumplican sitting there with the Trump flag above the U.S. flag, and that's how many Trumplicans, again, not Republicans, Trumplicans, view this country. Trump over the country. Make no mistake about it. The Trumplicans, again, to the Republicans out there that are sitting there going, "Hey, man, I don't agree with Trump on 80% of anything." Like, well, maybe 60%. I don't know what your number is. But if you're that F in there, you're a Trumplican. You're not an American. You're a Trumplican. There's a big difference. Again, another Trumplican down there in corner for G. I is one that we've had questioned, though. I is one that says, well, is it really the flag? Now, that is an interesting conversation that I would leave open for further debate. Again, I didn't create this. This isn't my work. But I would love to hear whoever did make it, their argument on that. Maybe it's the tapestries. I don't know. Essentially, but if it wasn't an actual flag turned into that, then I don't know. But I mean, who knows? But I assure you, E is not the one that you should be the most offended by. In fact, it was a military member that told Colin that he should kneel rather than sit. At least with kneeling, when, like in the military, when somebody passes for whatever reason, you know, it's a school circle, everybody take a knee. So I get that, and as a Marine Corps veteran myself, I respect it. And then I hear other veterans out there, it's disrespect, as they watch their Sunday football, as they see the flag get pulled out across the deck, and they say nothing. Which loses all their credibility to me in a heartbeat. Like, I know you've been that brainwashed military member, that you're not thinking for yourself. You're still in that grind of my country is right as long as the NFL is playing on Sunday. You know, it's not right. It must be right if they're letting them do it. So Roger Goodell was right. He owed Colin Kaepernick, and the NFL owes Colin Kaepernick a little bit of gratitude to say, hey, man, you were just years ahead of your time. You know, I'm sure it was frustrating. I'm sure he got lots of hate, death threats. I'm sure that this man has had many credible threats on his life because of his peaceful protest and his redress of grievance. For sure. You'd be crazy to think he didn't. I mean, but which one of those is really the disrespect for the flag? And again, utilize my comments for the rest of history, digital history, to explain it to me how I'm wrong. But I'm not, because kneeling for your special song while your magic sky cloth is being stretched across the deck inverted, the kneeling's the most respectful thing you can do. In all that whole situation, when you see somebody disrespecting the flag, take a knee. Or as one famous person put it, if you see a flag burning and you disagree with its cause, salute it as it burns. You can't stop somebody from utilizing their free speech, whether you like it or not. He used his life, his job, to put it on the line to say, hey, I don't agree with what police are doing, specifically to African Americans and the police brutality, but that brings it to opens the door for the bigger conversation. We should end qualified immunity for all judges, all law enforcement, all government, end qualified immunity for everybody. But the Supreme Court won't do it because even they think cops should be able to murder people with immunity. The coffee's getting cold in America, folks. Make no mistake about it. The coffee is getting cold in America, and there's going to be a day where people are going to go, you know what? I ain't going to drink this shit no more because it's cold. Don't taste the same. It's kind of getting gross. I mean, it's okay. It's only getting colder. Adam versus the Man here, starting at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. Hope you'll check us out. Again, appreciate it. You guys have a good day or don't. The choice is always yours.